It's all led up to this, an undefeated season and a chance to make history at the FCS National Championship. From MTN Sports, perfection and redemption, Montana State's road to Frisco starts right now.
Hello everybody and welcome to the heart of Texas. We are just north of Dallas at the Star, headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys, as we follow Montana State on the road to tomorrow night's national championship football game. I'm Scott Breen along with Grace Lawrence and Casey Conlon.
We're lucky to be in this studio, in this headquarters here. We didn't know we were going to be in here until just maybe a few minutes ago, and so thank you to the Dallas Cowboys. But tonight is all about the Montana State Bobcats, and again, them chasing a national championship that they haven't won in football in 40 years. Grace, you've been with this team since even going back to last year when this kind of all began.
Yeah, first off, so pleased to be joined with you guys today for this national championship coverage. But as you were saying, nearly 365 days ago, over a year, December 2nd, 2023, when North Dakota State met Montana State at Bobcat Stadium in the second round of the playoffs, blocking the Bobcats' extra point in overtime, sending them out of the playoffs, and it's led Montana State to this moment as they look for redemption against the Bison.
Yeah, I've definitely been looking forward to playing these guys again. We never knew if we were going to be able to or not, and it ended up being that way. And for it to come around from last season and then full circle from the my freshman year to now is pretty cool, and I'm excited to be able to have this opportunity to go out there and be able to play these guys again.
The Bobcats were last on this stage during the 2021 season, also facing NDSU that time around, falling short 38-10. Flash forward to the 2024 season, a handful of seniors, as Greevy mentioned, were a part of the 2021 squad and have worked effortlessly the past few years to get back to this moment.
You know, the last couple of years we've come up short. I think this group of seniors in particular, in coming up short and learning some hard lessons through their time, started going to work really about this time last year when we got back to Bozeman for the second semester, and really did a great job day in, day out of putting their best foot forward.
The go 1-0 every week mentality has had a large part in their ability to be 15-0, the one seed, and have a chance at bringing home the first national championship to the program in 40 years.
Yeah, 40 years is a long time. And the 40-year reunion was this fall, and Kelly Bradley, who was the quarterback of that team, came up to me and said, this has been great and all for us, but we need a new team to be remembered. That goes a long ways with just how our fan base has felt. Certainly a lot of ups and downs over the last 40 years. Recent history, quite a few ups, but just not quite getting over the hump.
It's going to be key, as in all playoff games, but specifically against another Missouri Valley school, is the battle that's won in the trenches.
Yeah, they have a great O-line, obviously, with a good quarterback, good backs. So it's going to be a challenge for sure, but I think our D-line is up for the challenge.
The team has enjoyed spending the last week of the season in Frisco, Texas altogether, but as the championship game nears, there's only one thing the Bobcats have on their mind.
Well, it's good to spend time with the team, time with the coaches. I think it's a good bonding experience and to appreciate the season we've had. But at the end of the day, we're here to win a championship on Monday and get it done.
Well, a major part of that game, that second round game last year against the Bison, Tommy Malott went out with injury. He's going to look to try and stay healthy the whole 60 minutes of this time around, but those Montana natives have been key to this 15-0 season so far for the Bobcats.
Yeah, no question about it. Key and depth has been huge. Both sides of the ball, defensively and, of course, offensively, with Tommy Malott trying to continue a historic run during a historic team season.
Certainly, Tommy is of a different stature. He's got to do it a little bit differently just because of that, and I think he's continued to reach his heights because there's that same common thread of not being satisfied.
Tommy Malott's status hit another height Saturday night when he was named the Walter Payton Award winner as the best offensive player in the FCS. Butte native, of course, burst onto the scene at Montana State during that 21 season when he led the Bobcats on that surprising run to the national championship game. He got hurt in that one, of course, here in Frisco, and the Cats lost 38-10. However, Malott has him right back in the big game now thanks to a stellar senior season in which he passed for over 2,500 yards and 31 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions in that run. He's even more dangerous on the ground, where Tommy Malott rushed for 915 yards and 14 more touchdowns.
Meanwhile, Montana State has owned a quietly dominant defense all season. The Bobcats have the 6th-ranked scoring D in the country, and a big reason is senior safety Rylan Ott. The Missoula product has been in Bozeman since 2019 and has developed into a consistent all-conference performer and one of the key leaders on a defense that prides itself on limiting big plays. Ott provides a stabilizing force in the secondary and leads the team in tackles as a factor in the run game. Stay with us. Coming up after the break, we'll meet the Cats' opponent, the North Dakota State Bison, who are playing in their 11th title game in 15 years.
We'll be right back with more Bobcat coverage after this break. From MTN Sports, welcome back to Perfection and Redemption, Montana State's road to Frisco.
And welcome back, everybody, as we turn our attention now to the opponent, North Dakota State, and the Bison pretty much call this their home away from home down here in Frisco, Texas. All they seem to have done is win national championships, 9 of 11 during one stretch. They are back for more.
You guys are so dominant and have been for so long. I mean, do you even bother to get nervous before games anymore, including the championship?
Yeah, I think nerves are kind of gone. I think we're so prepared for this game, and as we are every game, I think that's really the key, to battling those nerves. But we know what we're going to do. We know what we can do, so we just got to go out there and do it.
Maybe the first couple of games, a little nervousness, but now it's just more excitement. Honestly, not really. I get more excited than anything.
This is kind of your home away from home as a team, 9 of 11 championships. So I'm going to ask you some fun trivia. Dallas has 4 major sports pro franchises. Who's the NBA team?
The Mavericks.
Who's the hockey team here? The Stars, is it?
Got it.
Stars.
Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Texas.
Rangers.
Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas the soccer team.
So the Dallas soccer team is known as what?
I have no idea.
Ooh, I think you got me on that one.
Shoot.
Some type of bull?
The Toro.
Toros, yeah.
FC Dallas.
Oh, I think he was right. Actually, I just saw that sign. So yeah, FC Dallas. I got that one.
True or false? Before the name of Frisco hit this town, it was called Frisco Metro.
True.
True.
I'll say true.
Yeah, it's false. It was Frisco City. False. It was Frisco City.
Did not know that.
You'll never forget that.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This game will shift over the next 2 years for renovations here. Do you know what city it's shifting to? Big city.
Nashville.
Nailed it.
There we go.
You into the country music?
I would say I am, but I ain't opposed to it.
North Dakota State not afraid to have a little fun, fast, furious, and certainly confident entering tomorrow night's national championship game against Montana State. Grace?
Well, we talked about Tommy Malott on the top of the show, the Bobcats quarterback, but now talking about the Bison quarterback, Cam Miller. How poetic. Both of these two great FCS quarterbacks in this great era of FCS quarterbacks are facing off one final time in the championship game. Talking about Cam Miller, one of the great NDSU quarterbacks who's hoping to leave a legacy tomorrow night.
For him to be able to compete and improve and be tough, for the duration of this season, to find ways over the summer and spring ball to improve, to embrace any of the change that's happened here over the last 12 months, it means a lot.
Cam Miller returned to Fargo for a 5th season of eligibility in Pulisic's first season as head coach and hasn't missed a beat. He's now started 53 consecutive games for the Bison and played in 66 total in his career, including the championship win over the Bobcats to cap the 2021 season. Like Malott at Montana State, Miller is a dual-threat quarterback, but he's highly efficient as a passer. He's thrown for 3,000 yards and 31 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions this season. Miller finished as the runner-up to Malott for the Walter Payton Award and was a consensus All-American, one of 4 All-Americans on the NDSU roster.
Defensive tackle Eli Mostert is another All-American. The Minnesota native has been with the Bison since 2019 and has been a dominant presence each season he's played. He missed most of the 22 season with a broken leg, but has saved his best for last. Mostert has a career-high 56 tackles this season, including 11.5 for loss and 6 sacks. He's the anchor of an NDSU defense that intends to play fast and physical on Monday. They're a top 10 scoring unit in the country, but at times have been susceptible against the run. In their most recent outing, though, the Bison limited South Dakota State to just over 3 yards per carry. If Montana State wants to win Monday's title, they'll likely need a huge contribution from a sensational sophomore. Coming up next, we talk about Taco Dowler's second half surge.
We'll be right back with more Bobcat coverage after this break. From MTN Sports, welcome back to Perfection and Redemption, Montana State's road to Frisco.
Welcome back, everybody, to our road to Frisco. We've talked a lot about star players who could make the difference on the field tomorrow night. One we haven't mentioned is one for the Montana State Bobcats who's made a huge impact, especially over the second half of the season. It's redshirt sophomore wide receiver and return man extraordinaire, Taco Dowler. Taco, of course, part of one of 4 sets of brothers on the Montana State team. He is playing this season for injured twin brother Caden. He loves to talk about their bond and just how special this year has been.
I mean, he's everything to me. Growing up, it's been him and I through everything, and he's my best friend.
He has been as long as the two have been able to talk, back when Taco got his name.
My dad said, "What do you want for breakfast, McLean?" Because that's my real name. And I go, "My name's Taco." And Caden goes, "My name's Burrito."
Only one stuck. It's about the only thing the two haven't shared. At MSU, they've mostly shared bad injury luck. Both missed the majority of last year. But after a slow first 5 games this season, something changed October 5th against Northern Colorado.
As Taco Dowler turning on the Jets. Deep downfield, Taco Dowler right on cue.
Taco's breakout game, 106 yards and 2 touchdowns receiving, 120 more punt return yards. Since then, Taco has been on a tear. In 10 games, he's scored 10 touchdowns and has 250 more punt return yards than anyone else in the country. It's one of his teammates' favorite things to watch.
Some of these are like, maybe dicey catches, and he's not afraid,
It's scary, You're looking up at the ball, and then you got people trying to tackle you, tee off on you.
He is super fast, super quick, overall phenomenal player.
But as good as the memory of that UNC game should be, it's tainted. Caden tore his ACL that day. His second straight season ended by injury.
Seeing him not being able to do what he loves is the most heartbreaking thing ever, and playing for him and playing for me and him being able to live through it a little bit is just amazing to me.
Nobody has celebrated Taco's second half surge more than Caden, though he doesn't let him get too high.
Does he have notes after these games?
Yeah, he does have notes. He lets me know. It's just like, you got to make this play. I had a drop last week. He's like, you just got to make this play. He didn't say it exactly like that, but. Sure.
I think Cats fans would agree. Keep saying it however you are, Caden, because it's working. Now, one of the other sets of brothers on the team are Cowboys from Melstone, as we come to you from the Dallas Cowboys facility here. Coming up after the break, stay with us as we hear more about Brody and Bryce Greevy.
We'll be right back with more Bobcat coverage after this break. From MTN Sports, welcome back to Perfection and Redemption, Montana State's road to Frisco.
I think, like I was saying earlier, just how much time we spend together, just working or playing basketball, competing. We're both competitive as hell, so
together.
I'm a bit older and would beat up on him a little bit, but I think that's made him tougher, you know what I mean? I think just being there for him and him being there for me.
And welcome back to Frisco, Texas, as our coverage of Montana State's road to the national championship continues. Scott Breen along with Brandon Sullivan, and you shot that story with the Greevys out on the Greevy Ranch. Some emotions between the two brothers there, heavy emotions. What were some of your favorite moments out there?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was, it's an experience I'll never forget. I mean, number one, the amount of work that goes into a ranch, as many of us who've lived in Montana forever know, but also when you see that kind of emotion come out of Brody, especially when you don't expect it. But he and Bryce are so close. I mean, they grew up, they did everything together. you know, literally everything, and played high school basketball together, even though they're about 4 years apart. You know, Bryce played as an 8th grader on the high school team. So, I mean, they're super close, and the whole family is really close. And to see all those guys come out and all the teammates come out and brand and sit on cactus and wrestle these calves and these steer, and it was a blast, man. It was a lot of work, but
I want to ask you about that, because this isn't the first time he's had teammates out there. How does he whittle down the group that goes? Or does he lay the invite out to anybody who's welcome?
yeah, I mean, when you're branding like 700 calves, I think you're fine with literally everyone coming to help. You'll just figure it out. But yeah, I mean, they're just grateful for anyone who's willing and able to come out. Brody said he really didn't want Tommy to come out because he didn't want to risk him doing anything with his hands. No. He said he could come out and watch, but I don't think Tommy would have gone for that.
Well, a terrific piece, and people can watch it in its entirety where?
Well, MontanaSports.com.
Of course.
I mean, where else would you watch it?
Look for the Greevy piece there. Meantime, we'll be back after this.
From MTN Sports, welcome back to Perfection and Redemption, Montana State's road to Frisco.
And welcome back to Frisco, everybody, as we follow Montana State's countdown to kickoff against North Dakota State in the national championship game tomorrow night. However, Grace, this game will not be played here in Frisco the next 2 years.
No, the next couple of years it will be played in the Music City in Nashville, because Toyota Stadium will be undergoing some renovations. Our Tom Wiley has more.
For 15 years, the FCS Championship is called Frisco, Texas home, but that's all going to change in 2026 and 2027 as the game moves to Nashville, Tennessee, while Toyota Stadium undergoes renovations. But if and when the game does come back in 2 years, college football fans are in for a treat. Toyota Stadium opened in 2005, and Vice President of Stadium Operations Nick Schaefer started the very next year.
Coming up on my 19th season here at the venue, but I oversee everything inside the stadium, whether concessions, merch, parking, stadium programming, which is all the concerts, all the college football, all the high school football.
But after nonstop year-round use, the multi-purpose venue has started to show its age.
Listen, our venue's coming up on its 20th year anniversary. That's a long time nowadays, as I say, because it just gets old. You know, Texas, we got the concrete and all that stuff. The lights, you know, our lighting system is an old lighting system.
So immediately following the FCS title game, construction work will begin to upgrade the stadium. And this isn't just a minor facelift. It will transform the venue as college football fans have come to know it.
But we'll start on the east side first. We'll go in and put in the new 1,900 club seats, 11,000 square foot club, and then the awning and all new restrooms and concessions. And then we'll start on the north stage and the whole west side, which will include, the west side will include a new club. We go from 22 suites to 57 suites, and then also increase press box, radio room, as well as another club on top.
The FCS title game location will be up for bid after the Nashville run, so there's no guarantee the game will return to Frisco. But part of the reason the renovations are even taking place was to accommodate schools like Montana State and North Dakota State that have large fan bases.
The hope is that you get the FCS championship game.
Yeah, and that's part of the reasons for the renovation too. Is we love the game. We love the game, and we think part of these renovations is to fix the areas that we need fixing to make sure that we can support the fans and the alumni of these games, that when they come here, that it's a championship facility.
Tom Wiley, MTN Sports.
So there you have it, renovations, nice ones on the way here in Frisco. Casey, final thoughts on tomorrow night's championship?
One thing we haven't touched on, the weather. Normally 60 degrees all week, normally good down here. Cold snap is coming in, going to be in the 30s for game time. I think it favors the Cats. They're used to those temps outside. NDSU used to those temps in everyday life, but they play in a dome. Cats, slight edge because of that.
Bobcats, a historic season. We appreciate you joining us. That's all for tonight. It's a 5 o'clock kickoff on ESPN from Frisco, Texas, tomorrow night. For Grace Lawrence and Casey Conlon, I'm Scott Breen.
Thank you for watching this MTN Sports special presentation. Visit us online at montanasports.com for more exclusive Bobcat content.